Hi, do you feel constantly exhausted and don't really know why? Welcome to Nurture Our Nature. I'm Hilke and I'm a holistic counselor and wellness coach. And many of my clients are highly sensitive women and neurodivergent women. And one thing most of them have in common is that they feel exhausted, especially when they first come to see me. And the other day, a client said to me, I don't really know why I'm constantly exhausted. I don't really do so much. When she started listing, it wasn't actually that little that she was doing. But if you are a highly sensitive person, by definition, the same amount of sensory input from the outside that for a typical person, someone who is not highly sensitive, um, is like a manageable amount, your nervous system is dealing with much, much, much more because it's like, oh, like the pixels in cameras when in the olden days, you had like only like cameras with fewer pixels and there was much less resolution. So if you zoomed in on it, there wasn't as much information there. And that's the same thing. If your system is highly sensitive, it's like you have a really, really HD camera there, and you notice every minute detail that the rest of the population might not. So, what is a normal amount of processing for an average or typical person, if they exist, um, for you is a much higher amount. That means your nervous system works harder, your brain works harder, your senses work harder, and you're gonna need more rest than someone who sort of filters out this extra information or who doesn't even perceive it in the first place. So, step one, as always, is be aware of your situation. Just acknowledge you are highly sensitive. Maybe you're neurodivergent. That just means you're different. You're not lazy. You're not like, I don't know, some languishing person on the sofa. Your system works in overdrive and you need more rest than some other people, or maybe the majority of the population. Um, Even though many, many people are highly sensitive. So it's a much bigger minority than, say, neurodivergent people who often also are highly sensitive and will deal with that on top of their other sensory issues. And the other um, the other factor that many of my clients have is that they think they're not doing much because of this whole not good enough story. That they are working harder and harder and harder to sort of measure up to some imagined standard, and they just, because they only know themselves, right? You grew up with yourself in your brain, in your body. So from that, you're inferring onto everyone else. And you might think that everyone else is working as hard, that their little feet are paddling as hard as yours under the water. But not everyone is doing that. So you're probably holding yourself to a very high standard, and then perfectionism can come into it. And you want to do everything to a much higher standard than other people. That in itself is exhausting. And you might also have some people pleasing tendencies. And that means you are anticipating, on top of the sensory issues, on top of perfectionism, if it's there or not, you are anticipating other people's needs, wants, emotions, comfort, and often putting yourself last. So, all of this combined Oh, it's exhausting me even to think of it. It is exhausting. So, really, you don't need to stop whatever you're doing. You do not need to, take huge amounts of time off, unless, of course, you're in something like burnout, autistic burnout. Then that's very, very different, and you're not going to just get better by pacing yourself. But if you are not in fully fledged burnout yet, then taking micro breaks throughout the day, resetting your system when you need it, that's going to be the sort of help that you can give yourself. And you will find, by becoming aware of getting exhausted before you are crashing and cannot get up for the evening or 3 days or whatever, becoming aware and then listening inside, what do I need? And then giving it to yourself, even in small doses. I have a yin yang meditation, which I link to here. And that's sort of the short reset that you can do, and that just teaches you to listen to yourself. And what do I need? Where's my energy depleted? And what type of energy do I need or want to pick it up again? So yeah, maybe try that out. Maybe just schedule some micro breaks, or schedule on your phone just little bings that come at intervals when you know you're usually feeling quite depleted, or when you might be getting exhausted. And a little reminder to become aware, and then just redirect your activity. Take a little break. Go and make yourself a cup of tea or a fresh glass of water, and take it in small sips, and just focus in on the lovely thing you're doing for your body and your nervous system right then. Or taking slow breaths, all of that. So I would love to hear what your favorite way of resetting is, your favorite breaks. Please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it. If you would like some support, if you are really truly exhausted, if you suffer from burnout, book in with me and we can really sort things out together and get you back onto your sparkly path of wonderfulness again. Sorry, vibrancy. I've completely lost the plot. I'm sorry. Have a beautiful day. And if you could like and follow, I'd be ever so happy. Bye bye.